Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Stephen from Training Link.
I'm Gary from Training Link.
Right. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. On today's webinar, shortly we'll hand over to Jamie Hughes from AAT, who's going to talk about the syllabus and just talk about AAT in general. Then after that, we'll come back to the Training Link side of the presentation, and we'll talk about why we think you should study AAT with us and what the benefits are. Then after that, we're going to have a chat with one of our students, Michaela Howes, joins us today. And then after that, we've got some special offers for our AAT provision, which we'll talk to you about. And then, and I think it's very important, we've got a Q&A section of the webinar. So as we're talking today, if you can just, any questions you have, pop them in the Q&A section or the live chat, and we'll get through as many of those as we can right at the end. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Jamie, if you can get ready to share your screen.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know. Can you see that okay?
It's still in design view, but if you can't, we've been having some technical difficulties with Zoom this morning, but I think you can
Yeah.
still see the slide quite clearly.
Yeah, apologies everyone. Yeah, we've done a few tests and it's been stubborn this morning, but hopefully it might just click back into full view. But I'll go ahead and talk through. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. So my name's Jamie and I'm a partner account manager at AAT. So essentially I just support all of our training providers with their AAT provision. So today I'll just give you a general overview of AAT, our qualifications and potential pathways. So firstly, just a little bit about AAT. So AAT qualifications are open to all. There's no formal entry requirements. We just recommend that you start at a level that's relevant to your experience and your qualifications. So if you wanted to get an idea of your starting level, you can use the AAT skill check test, and you can also speak to Training Link directly to get some advice on where to start. So AAT is internationally recognised. We have members in over 100 different countries. And what that leads on to is we're highly sought after by employers. So if you were to look on job websites such as Reed and you were to look for jobs in the industry, you'll see that employers are looking for individuals to either be AAT qualified or studying towards AAT. And it's also an opportunity to work in any industry. So you're gaining those practical real world skills. So you don't just have to work in accounting and finance for a firm. You could work in fashion, sports, entertainment. Essentially, every business, as you know, has an accounting and finance function. So in terms of the qualification pathway, I'm just going to give you a really brief overview here. So we've got our core accounting qualifications. That's level 2, 3 and 4. And we've also got bookkeeping short courses. So those bookkeeping units are actually incorporated into the core accounting qualifications, which I'm going to focus on today. So you can see at each level what types of jobs it can lead to. So for level 2, you're looking at those entry level roles. For level 3, you've got the junior up to senior roles. And level 4, the final qualification, you're looking at the more leadership and management senior roles. So once you've completed level 4, you've then got the opportunity, if you want to, is to go on to chartered accounting. So a lot of other awarding bodies such as ACCA and CIMA will offer you exemptions.
Jamie,
So yeah,
do you mind if I just interrupt just
of
slightly?
course.
What slide can you see?
So I've got qualification pathways
No,
and a list of the
we're not
jobs.
seeing that, I'm afraid. We're
What
still only
side?
seeing the introductory slide.
Let's see if I come out and I do this. Can you see the
I can see
qualification
that
path?
now. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll go through manually and click on
Okay.
them.
Okay, that's fine.
Apologies, everyone.
Just out of interest, just obviously because Alison raised that on the chat.
Mm.
Um, Does anyone want to just go back a little bit, or is everyone quite
Okay.
content for us to continue from the current slide? I think we've kind of covered about AAT. I don't think we need to see the slide, do we?
No, I think you've
No.
gone through that.
Okay.
Okay.
Apologies, Jamie. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go
no
through the
problem.
qualification pathway, and I'm going to
Yeah.
shut up and mute myself.
No, that's all right. Sorry about that, everyone.
No worries.
So we've covered the exemptions and chartered accounting. So then, of course, you've got the opportunity to be your own boss. So you can offer self-employed services to the public. And you've also got the option if you want to go and specialise into tax. So you could offer tax services as well. So now I'm moving on. Hopefully you can see the qualification breakdown at level 2, 3 and 4. Can you see that, Stephen?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Can you see now the AAT qualification breakdown
Yes,
at
yeah.
level?
Yes, I can
Perfect.
see that, yes.
Okay, so at level 2, so if you're going to start on this level, it's usually for people that have no prior experience in accounting. So you could be a career changer or a school leaver. And this is essentially covering your fundamental skills in double entry manual bookkeeping, basic costing, and using accounting software. So we have 4 units at this level. And generally, it takes around 6 months to complete, but that really does depend on your study method. Then you've got your level 3. So if you were to start on this level, we would advise that you've got previous experience in accounting or similar qualifications. And at this level, you're covering final accounts for sole traders and partnerships, reports and returns, and professional ethics. And you have 4 units at this level, and it can take around 9 to 12 months to complete. But again, there are fast track options with some training providers. Then level 4, your final level. So at this level, we don't usually recommend you start here unless you really do have that relevant knowledge and skills. And you've got 5 units altogether. 3 are mandatory and 2 are optional. So you can actually specialise in certain areas. So you have an option of 5, and you could go into taxation, both personal and business, credit control, and auditing. So that's just the general qualifications in a nutshell. And just a useful resource to mention is the AAT Careers Hub. So if you wanted to get an idea of the types of opportunities that are out there at the moment, you can go to the AAT website, you can pop in your location, you can even put in a keyword, so bookkeeper, accountant, or whatever roles you're looking for, and you can have a look at the opportunities in your area. What I like to do is just leave that keyword section blank and see all of the opportunities, just so you can have a little browse. So for example, earlier I popped in London as a location. So on the left-hand side, you can see a rough salary for the role. And on the right-hand side, you can see all of the details. And you can see in the what you'll need to succeed section, the employer is looking for either part qualified ACCA or CIMA or an AAT qualified candidate. So just a brief overview of the membership pathways as well. So once you've completed level 3 accounting or bookkeeping, you can apply to be a bookkeeping member, and you get the letters AATQB after your name. So that means that you're a qualified bookkeeper, and it's just that professional status. Once you've completed level 4, you can apply for MAAT, which is full membership. And again, you can put those letters after your name. So you can do that on your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your business cards. And that essentially just signifies to clients and employers that you're qualified, you're kept up to date with latest legislation, and you're committed as well to continuous professional development. So just keeping up to date with your learning essentially. So lastly, I'm just going to give you an overview of the type of support you can expect once you're an AAT student. So firstly, we've got our lifelong learning portal, which is a brilliant resource. So you've got loads and loads of study materials on there, such as green light test, podcasts, videos. And what we advise is you use this to complement the resources you're getting from your training provider, such as Training Link, for the best chance of success when you're revising for upcoming exams. You'll also get access to My AAT, and that's essentially your online platform with all of your details and resources in there. We've also got AAT Comment, which is an online blog. It's got loads of useful study tips. There'll sometimes be articles from employers and just numerous updates on there about the industry. And the same applies for the AAT Student Magazine as well. And you've also, of course, got events that are running throughout the year for students and members, and they're just a great opportunity to network with like-minded people and also often to meet employers too. And then lastly, I would always advise just to build your online support network. So below you'll see all of the usual channels such as Instagram and Facebook, and I definitely advise following those as well. So finally, just to wrap things up, so in terms of next steps, what you would do is, as I mentioned earlier, have a go at the AAT skill check, identify your training provider. If you're studying through distance learning, then you can sit your exams at an external assessment venue. So we've got hundreds of venues across the country and internationally, so you can use our assessment venue search to find one. Then you would enroll with your training provider, so you can enroll directly with Training Link, and then register as an AAT student. So then you'll gain access to all of those online resources that I've mentioned, and you also need to register as a student to sit your assessments too. So yes, that's AAT in a nutshell. I hope that has been helpful, and apologies about the slides.
Right, fantastic. So thank you very much for that, Jamie. I'm just going to prepare my slides again. Also, one thing I will ask you while you're still actually, Jamie, can you just join us for 1 second? Just one
Of
very quick
course.
question. Now, at Training Link, we include the AAT registration with the courses, and I just wanted to confirm when you're studying AAT, you're not going to be able to take an exam unless you've registered, are you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Easiest question in the world. Just wanted to confirm ahead of
Or
time.
from your slide, gain access to
The
My
result.
AAT
Yeah.
and the additional resources. Yeah. We
Yeah.
sometimes ask that question, do I have to? And we say, well, yes. And I believe there's somewhere back in history it says it's compulsory after a certain amount of time anyway. So yeah, we always tend to cover that, but I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah.
Because you
we
just
do
literally
tend to do
showed
it a
that
little
at the
bit
end
differently.
there. Yeah.
It's a brilliant question, and we always advise that you register as soon as possible, ideally within the first 4 weeks of enrolling with your training provider. But as you include obviously the AAT registration fee, it's so straightforward, and then you immediately have access to all of those resources as well. So yeah, it's a really good point to raise actually.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you
Thanks,
very much,
Jamie.
Jamie. Right, I'm going to share my screen. So, who are Training Link? So, it was 1996, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
Training Link
actually,
started.
just hitting into our 30th year now. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely crazy. But yeah, we've been around for a long time. And we are subject area specialists. You won't find hundreds of different courses on the Training Link on the Training Link website. We simply focus on accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll. So this is all we do. It's a niche approach, and it means that it keeps us very focused on making sure the materials that we offer and the support that we offer is of the very highest quality. And we think this focus gives us a huge advantage over a lot of different training providers that are out there, and that is the control over quality and content. We've got 100% control over our learning materials. You won't find any third-party content in there. Our books, tests, and the additional resources, they all work together to make sure you've got a seamless, cohesive learning experience. What I mean by that is the tutors, a lot of our tutors have contributed to the resources that we put out there. So it means that if you are, let's say we've got someone studying one of our courses, if there's an area where we don't think a student is quite understanding that, we can adjust the materials, we can develop extra materials And it means that we've got a continuous feedback loop, haven't we?
It is a continuous development process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all full-time tutors, and they monitor the students' progress. And if we tend to be asked a question on a certain subject quite a lot, we will then make that clearer. We'll go back to that text, we'll go back to the online resources, and we'll put more examples in there or whatever. And that's the whole idea of it, is that because we've got ownership of this, we haven't got to wait for 3 or 4 years for a publisher to change something. We can change it ourselves because we know that it needs changing.
Exactly. There's a lot of providers out there that tend to buy third-party resources in and try to build a course from disparate elements. That doesn't happen at TrainingLink. Everything that we put out there is by TrainingLink. So our courses are designed to give you the best possible chance of gaining your qualification. But it's not just about getting you through the exams, as vitally important as that obviously is. We try to make sure that when you're studying the courses, when you're working your way through the course books, when you working your way through the assessments, we're trying to make sure you've got that underpinning knowledge firmly, deeply embedded in your head, so you're ready to do the job. Get through the exams, fabulous, but we want to make sure that you're ready as a professional to do the job that you're qualified to do.
Yeah, there are lots of activities within the courses. The idea being that we actually do learn better by doing rather than just reading about something. So there's lots of tasks, lots of activities, lots of online tests as well, because people love tests. And that's the whole idea of it, is that we don't want someone to go in there and say, well, I know all of these things. We want them to say, well, I know these things, but also know how to do it. I have done one of those. I have done this. I have done that. So it's not just about academia. It is also about the practical aspects of the subject.
And TrainLink has got a very proud history of helping many, many students start their bookkeeping and accounting career. I think, what are we? Well over 8,000 students. What are we now?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that region. And if you ever take a look at the student success section of the website, you'll find many students writing in their own words their case study, their journey from what they did before to becoming a qualified bookkeeper or qualified accountant. Definitely worth having a look. And we've won many different awards over the last over 20 of them, in fact. Yeah, the list obviously on screen. So AAT's Best New Training Provider in 2018, ICB's Large Training Provider of the Year 12 times, ICB Tutor of the Year 4 times. But have we got more winners than that in the book?
We have, yeah. Over time, we've got people that have come to work for us who had previously won awards on their own merit, obviously. So yeah, we tend to be a bit of a magnet to award-winning tutors at the moment. But well, makes us happy, and it makes our students happy as well.
Absolutely. So yes, and last year we were shortlisted in 3 categories at the AAT Awards, including Training Provider of the Year, Tutor of the Year, and one of our students, Katie Robinson, won Student of the Year, which is an absolutely fantastic achievement.
She also won the PQ award as well.
She did, yes. Yeah. The same year, Katie went on to win the PQ Student of the Year award as well. And when we're talking about case studies, have a read of Katie's journey, because that was
lovely story.
Really lovely story. She did so well, worked ever so hard. So why study online? I think the key thing is the flexibility, because you dictate your own pace. You're in charge. You dictate the pace of progression. And that means that if you need to fast track your studies, you can. If you only study at weekends, that's fine as well. And if you can't stick to the same rigidly scheduled days, this works too. It's completely flexible. And we tend to find that that's very appealing to people who are trying to balance family life. Maybe they're working full time, but they want to do a career change. The flexibility of studying online by distance learning with TrainingLink means that you can do that. So the study options, we actually offer 3 different versions of our AAT courses. So I'll just give a brief overview of each. So we've got online.
There's 4 actually. Put self-study in there.
Oh, self-study, yes.
It's been very, very popular. Yeah. I've thrown you now.
Has thrown me. I need to update my slides. So the first one is online, and the online is the most cost effective. It's a digital only learning experience, and that's good for self-motivated learners. It includes the tutor support, but that doesn't come with TrainLink's printed materials. Now, personally, I'm, I'm probably a little more old school. I do like the printed materials. A lot of our students do as well.
Yeah, it's the proven method actually for learning this subject, that we can think, okay, we're going to learn everything off a screen. You can't do the practical aspects on a screen. You can't put sticky notes on a screen. It's just proven that this, when you look at success rates, it is more people are more likely to succeed if they're using the textbooks with some online resources to help with that as well. And that's what the blended product is.
Well, speaking of blended, blended tends to be I think that's clearly the most popular option. And that's a mixture of the printed study materials with the tutor support, whole suite of videos that we've been working on for the last 4 or 5 years at this point, I think.
Longer than that, actually. Yeah.
And online materials, assessments that are in the online e-assessment platform. And also Blended Live. Now, Blended Live is everything that is included in the blended option, but there's an extra 52 hours of videos across the 3 levels. And it also includes live online exam revision sessions, which we've had some fantastic feedback about those. So including in both Blended and Blended Live, you get TrainLink's printed AAT study manuals with lessons and examples, practical hands-on activities to ensure you have the knowledge and the skills, which goes back to my point early on about making sure that you're ready to do the job. Award-winning support from full-time tutors by email and phone. You won't find anyone in the building here that works as a college tutor, for most of the day and then answers a few emails for a distance learning provider on an evening. Yeah, all of our tutors are full-time, and they can be contacted. Yeah. Online resources to help fast track your studies, and that includes PDFs of your course books, e-assessments, tests, mock exams, and videos. I'd also, at this point, I'm just going to show you a very quick little video of what's included in Blended Live, just to give you an idea.
So I just finished recording an AAT live class for Blended Live, which is a package built to make sure students of all abilities can get these AAT accounting certificates quicker than ever before. It's a perfect blend of flexibility, live support, and award-winning resources that caters for all types of students. Tutor support, over 52 hours of videos across 3 levels, online study resources, printed workbooks and ebooks, so you can study on the go, live online exam revision sessions at your call when you're ready. It's flexible, affordable, and designed for people just like you, ready to take control of their future. Start your journey with TrainLink today.
Okay, so Blended and Blended Live also include 24/7 e-assessment marking with instant results and personal tutor feedback. Student Services Department open 7 days a week, and everything you need is included. There are no add-ons needed, so no extra reference material fees, no add-on resource fees. It also includes access to Student Street. Now, Student Street is our peer-to-peer study support group, student support group, and it's in Facebook, which means you don't need to learn how to use another app, and you get to talk to other students, tutors, and there's over 5,600 members in Student Street. Right, now all of this, the online materials, the printed study books, the standard of tutor support, I'd like to give some of that context, some context to that, because here are the AAT pass rates that TrainLink have. So at level 2 accounting, it's a 93.1% pass rate. At level 3, it's 86.4%. And at level 4, it's 84.3%. Now, just to give you some extra added context for those, because if we came on here and said we've got a 100% pass rate, but only 1 student had taken the exam, That would be technically accurate, but it would be completely
misleading.
disingenuous. So, the number of assessments we've had at level 2 is 1,072. By the way, this is for the last calendar year. So this is for the 1st of January 2024 to the 31st of December 2024.
We have to work on the official figures that AAT actually provide us with.
Yeah.
So it's always done in 1 year at a set time.
Yeah, exactly. So at level 2, that's a 22.3% higher pass rate than the worldwide average for level 2 accounting. At level 3, it's a 29% higher than the worldwide average for level 3 accounting. And for level 4 accounting, it's 24.8% higher than the worldwide average pass rate. And yes, you can see the number of assessments that have been taken at each level there. So yes.
A lot.
And I'd always encourage you to look at student feedback. Trustpilot is always a good start. And one thing I point out about our Trustpilot page is that we don't invite students to review Training Link until they've got some way into their course. I can't remember what the period is, but
we almost wait. We tried to do this after they completed an exam. To be honest, in other words, they've taken the journey now.
Yeah.
But Mike's in touch after a month, 2 months, 3 months to check that everyone's all right. So students can leave a review at any point, really. But yeah, generally speaking, it would be once they've at least completed an exam. Otherwise, it becomes a pointless review, really.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. You tend to find now that there's a tendency from a lot of companies now to get people to review as soon as they've purchased something, and you end up with lots and lots of reviews that say 5-star.
The person on the phone.
Yeah, person on the phone was really lovely. The goods arrived quickly, which is completely useless as far as a reviewing study experience goes.
Yeah.
So you tend to find that reviews on about Training Link tend to be a lot more detailed about someone's actual experience of studying with us. So yeah, we've also got a FIFO profile. We've been rated exceptional. And again, take a look at the level of detail in those reviews. And as mentioned earlier on, student success, we have a section on the website where we've got some very detailed case studies about some of our fantastic students. Yeah, I mean George has just popped up, George Sampakas, who managed to get his qualifications 2, 3, and 4 in 11 months, which I'm not going to recommend that as an approach because that's very, very intense.
It's the way it is. If you look at that presentation there, each and every one of those, if you call it a record at the time, has been broken since. That's just as it was at the time. But it seems that every single year we get students who just absolutely go for it.
Yeah.
And, they impress us massively. But I think they're a great inspiration to everyone else, especially so when you take George as an example there. English wasn't his first language, and he'd never done anything in the field of bookkeeping, accounting, or even administration before. But he just went in there, committed himself to it. Level 2, 3, and 4, and that was 11 months or something.
Yeah. 11 months.
Take you 4 years at college.
The flip side about that, and this is what I'm keen to drill home the flexibility. The flip side of that is I once had an email from somebody who'd read some of the case studies we'd shared. And she was almost a little bit downhearted because she said, "Well,
it's a competition.
If I'm not able to do my studies this quickly, will I not be able to be shortlisted for an award?" And of course, I think that was Siobhan. I think in the middle, she took her time. She didn't get it done in a ridiculous fast track race. She took her time, but she got fantastic results, and she ended up with a nomination for Student of the Year for that awarding body. So it's not about fast tracking, but if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The key thing is the flexibility. So if you need to take your time, take your time.
Yeah, we often get asked the question that how long does it take? And it's always broken down at the end of the day to, well, how many hours in a week can you study? Obviously, the more you can do, then the faster you'll complete. And then, got others very, very busy lives. The most I can do is 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what we forecast it on anyway, that if we say, okay, you should complete this course in a year, you should be able to do that with that 2 or 3 hours. So if you can do more, then, get your qualification faster by all means. We don't want it in 2 years' time. You want it now.
Yeah. And that's on screen. There's a picture of Katie, who was just receiving a Student of the Year award. Right, at this point, I'd like to, if I can, welcome Michaela back. Michaela, would you be able to put yourself? Oh my goodness me, she's rapid. That's someone who's on the ball. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so we can continue. So, hi, Michaela.
Hi,
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad,
Yeah,
not
okay.
too bad. Right, so obviously we had a chat last week, and yeah, I've just really keen to just get an idea of your study journey. So would you be able to just give us a bit of background about how you eventually came to start studying AAT?
Yeah, without going into too much detail, I don't want it to be, this is a really lovely, happy webinar. I don't want it to be too sad, but um, shortly before the light in the room has turned off. One moment, is light censored, and I'm really sure.
Don't worry.
Put some money in the meter.
Just before we go back to Michaela, one thing that's worth pointing out. What was I going to say? How are we doing on the Q&A? We've still got quite a lot of students here, and I can see some questions popping up. Don't forget, if you want to add some questions to the Q&A, please do, and we'll come back to those a little bit later on. Right, so Michaela's back. So
The
hello
light's
again.
back on.
Classic troubles with being really short. It's all the time. Yeah, so shortly before the COVID-19 pandemic, I was living just with my mum, and I was in secondary school. And unfortunately, when I was 15, she passed away. I had to move in with my dad. It wasn't great. We never really got along. And then the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and I was stuck at home with this person I didn't really get along with, seeing her every day in a one-bedroom flat. Not the best. Luckily, I still did really well in secondary school, but I did then start to develop a lot of anxiety, and it was kind of stopping me from reaching my full potential. And I ended up actually dropping out of sixth form just shortly before my A-level exams, just because constantly going into school every day, it was just really overwhelming for me. I was then not in education or employment for about a year until something finally snapped. And I realised that my mum would be turning in her grave if she knew that I was sitting around doing nothing. She wouldn't want me to be sad, so I picked myself up, Googled apprenticeships, and I found a really good business administration apprenticeship in London, in Canary Wharf. And I worked there, and I was assisting the data and finance departments. I wasn't actually doing any of the actual finance work, but I got to see like a real in-depth view of the process, what happens behind the scenes. And I just fell in love. I never thought I'd wanted to go into accounting before, but just how methodical all the process is, how it fit together, and how ultimately it was underpinning for the business. It played such a pivotal role in making it run. It fed into every single department. I just really loved that all-encompassing view of the company. And that was when I fell in love with the idea of accounting. So when I then finished my business administration apprenticeship, they offered me a permanent role as a finance assistant, which I happily took because it was just so intriguing to me. But then shortly after, the company that my boyfriend worked at, which is where I'm currently working now, offered me a position to not only work here as a finance assistant, which is closer to my home, but they also offered to fund my AAT studies, which I think that's an offer you can't turn down. Especially because I'd come from a background that wasn't, people hadn't gone to university in my family before. I had grown up on, my mum was on universal credit, she wasn't able to work. It was really game changing for me that I would be able to get this qualification that, as Jamie mentioned, is so pivotal in getting a role in accounting and I wouldn't have to bear the financial burden of it and I'd be able to work full time as well. That was, I just couldn't turn that down. So I jumped at the opportunity. And then I was asked what training provider I wanted to pick. I thought I would just be given one by the company. So I was very stressed. So I did a lot of research. And as Stephen would have mentioned, the reviews for Training Link, when I was looking at reviews for all of the other training providers, it was just saying, yeah, it's good. My tutor helped. I was like, that doesn't tell me anything that I need to know when I'm committing to doing this studying all the time. But all of Training Link's reviews were so detailed, were so heartfelt that you could tell that these people had taken time out of their own day to write that message because of how much they had been positively impacted. And that speaks volumes. I mean, I don't even usually leave reviews. I'm not a person to usually leave reviews, but when I was asked after my first exam whether I wanted to leave a review, I was like, oh, 100%. Of course, this has been game-changing for me. So yeah, that's how I ended up getting there, through the reviews, through people singing the praises of their tutor, but also just the accessibility of all of the materials, the flexibility, the quick responses. It was exactly what I was looking for.
Oh wow. Okay.
Great.
Can you come back? Can you come back and do another one? And talk to you again. So let's talk a little bit about the actual study experience itself. So which option did you choose? Is it online blended or was it blended live?
Blended. So
Blended.
I did that for my level 2 and I have actually I completed that a few months ago and I'm now starting my level 3.
Oh,
Brilliant.
fantastic.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Not that
Thank
you ever
you.
left, of course.
Okay, so what's your experience been like with the materials?
It's been so good. I feel like it's just so detailed without it feeling like I'm reading forever. And one of the game-changing things is that it not just tells me, here's how you do the process. This is what we need you to do. That's the qualification. It tells me why. So that instead of it just being a memory game, me trying to remember all these different rules, it gives it some context. And then suddenly I'm not memorizing, I'm just using common sense. And it just changes it. It means I don't have to spend hours and hours and hours doing revision, because in the training materials, it instills the understanding into my mind just in a new form of common sense. And I just love that detail. I always struggle when I'm not given a why. So having that reasoning behind it was great.
Did you find, or did you tumble that we'd actually got you into a process that learn this, then do that, learn that, then do this, so that you learn? It's those chunks of learning, isn't it? And the idea is you're not really supposed to notice that's what's happening because you just follow it, and before you know it, you've got there. You think, crikey, I've done all that. Yeah.
And it stops me from running on reading too much without practicing it, because the best type of revision is done where you learn a little bit, practice, learn a little bit, practice, but it doesn't feel clunky. Like when you're in a classroom, for example, I often find that it'll be like, okay, today's exam day, and it's like, okay, pause on the learning, do this bit of a mini test. But I find with Training Link, it's really smooth. Like you said, you don't notice that process. It just all flows together.
Fantastic. What's your experience been like of the two sports? Have you had to use who is it, Ben, I'm presuming?
Ben, yeah.
Have you had to reach out to Ben or not?
Ben has been so great. There have been a couple of times where I've needed to ask a question and it's been so quick on the response.
Yeah.
But not just fast, because some people might think, oh well, he has to reply quickly. But it's caring. There's an element of the response that shows genuine interest in my success. It feels like I can ask the same question a million times and it's fine. It's fine. I'll get a supportive response, and he's happy to explain it in lots of different ways.
He's a really
and that
patient guy, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Ben's probably one of the most laid-back people we've ever had in the building. He just does it. He doesn't blink, doesn't bat an eyelid. It's just nothing's too much trouble for him. He's amazing, really. Yeah.
I would say that goes for all of the staff, even the admin staff in the background. Because I'm getting my course funded through my company, I often need a lot of other little admin bits so that can all get approved. And they're so kind, so friendly, so responsive, as well as the tutors. And I think that really shows that every single part of the company is just so lovely.
Well, I think what's nice about since I've been here at TrainLink is that it's got a family feel to it, and I can hear tutors talking about this, oh, such and such a student has just taken their tax processing for businesses exam. Oh, there's such enthusiasm that they have, and when they get the results, you can tell how happy they all
Yeah,
are.
I just kind of dropped into my head for a moment there. It's almost like we're all the grown-ups and our students are all our children. We're looking after them and talking about how well little Tommy did today, you know.
Well, we feel
It's
very looked
honestly, I'd never
after.
really thought of it until you said it there. I think it is, isn't it?
Oh, blimey. So, I mean, what next? What are your plans for the future?
So like I said, I finished level 2 with you guys, and I'm also studying level 3, but it's actually really molding my current position. So I work full time as a finance assistant.
Mm,
Um, and I'm really lucky to have a really great manager. So she always asks for a copy of the contents page that I'll be working on each unit so that she can show me parts of the job as I go along. So it's perfect. So the goal is for me to continue expanding my career as I learn.
mm.
And I want to go all the way. I want to do level 4 and I'm interested in becoming chartered. But those are long thoughts, those are far away, long-term thoughts. But yeah, so I plan on continuing within my current role and expanding it.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
Have you had time to reflect at all yet when you like think back to when you first started to what you now take for granted in terms of your knowledge? Have
Yes.
you done
So
that yet?
I was literally having a conversation with my manager the other day about how, first of all, I see my job in a whole different light. Every
Mm,
time I learn something, I'm like, oh, that's why I do that. That makes so much sense. But also now I find myself asking a lot more questions, but because they're sensible questions, they're smart questions to ask. Where before I might not have known to flag something, I'm like, oh, great, this is going to be a meeting. So yeah, in that aspect, I'm like, oh, see, ignorance sometimes is bliss. But yeah, I would never take it. I would never change it for the world. It's great.
fantastic.
Brilliant.
Right. Well, I think we'll probably at this point we'll probably move on to the rest of the presentation because time is rapidly running out. So can I just say thank you so much for joining us
Yes.
today, Michaela.
Thank you,
So
Michaela.
appreciated.
Lovely to meet you and
Lovely.
see your face. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
My
Michaela.
pleasure. Thank you.
And can I just say quickly, I've really enjoyed sitting here listening to Michaela's story. I've not
Great,
heard it
wasn't it?
yet, and it's so inspiring, like
Yeah.
just the resilience and where she is now. So thank you, Michaela. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Right. I'm going to share my screen again now. Hang on. Where are we? Right. Fabulous. So, okay, special offers. So just give you an idea of what well, the cost of the AAT courses this month. So at the moment, we do have a checkout code, so you get an extra 10%, save an extra 10% on the checkout price using the code AAT10. So at level 2 accounting, it's important to point out this includes the AAT registration, which is worth £186. AAT registration is compulsory. So at the moment, the level 2 accounting is £785. But using the 10% discount code, that would take it down to £706.50. Now, excluding, if you were to take away that registration, that course is really costing you just £520. For level 3 accounting, registration is 243, and our price is 845. With the 10% code, that's £760.50. And again, if you took away that registration element, that would cost you just £517. And level 4, where the registration is £257, it's £1,120, but with the 10% off, that brings it down to £1,008. And again, if you exclude that registration, that course is really costing you £751.
Worth pointing out here as well. Yeah, here it is
Yes.
at the bottom. Sorry.
And for the
September.
exactly, and for September, and this is until the end of September, we're including free question banks for each level. Now, there's more detail on the website if you go on the course product page, and you can see what that would amount to. But I think at level 2, that amounts to an extra 86 pounds.
Like that, yeah.
I think it's either 84 or 86 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. For level 2, 86 pounds for level 3, and I think it's 84 level 2, 84 level 3, 106 for level 4.
Yeah.
I think that's how much extra value you're getting with the free question bank offer that runs until the end of September. I'll just very quickly, just for comparison, show you the blended live prices. I won't read them all out because we'll be here forever, but you get the general idea on that one, I think. So yes, with the 10% off, level 2 blended live would be £913.50. Level 3 accounting, it would be £1,017, and for level 4 would be £1,309.50. And obviously the main differentiator between blended live and blended and just standard blended is blended live contains an extra 52 hours of video across the 3 levels, but the real benefit is the fact that you get those live online exam revision sessions. So yeah, and question banks are included. Right, so we're going to have a quick look and see what kind of questions do we have in the chat. I think we've got a handful. Okay, will the slides be shared after the session? Yes, they can be. We can share those. We can share the recording as well. I'll send an email out to anyone who's registered with the details so you can play this back. Are the exam pass rates for bookkeeping qualifications similar to the accounting ones? Well, yeah, it's important to state here is that we're not, and Jamie may need to back us up on this one. We are only allowed to publish pass rates that we've obtained directly from AAT, and AAT don't publish pass rates for the short qualifications, which are the bookkeeping.
Because a short qualification is actually part of the main qualification. So the first 2 exams that you would do, say AAT level 2 bookkeeping, are still classified as being the same as the 2 exams that you would do for level 2 accounting. So level 2 and level 3 encompass that. In other words, they are the same. The pass rates are the same, because they're basically, it's pretty much the same exams.
Well, that question was from Maddie. So what I'll do is after the webinar, I'll just double check to make sure that we can share that, the information, because we do get the unique pass rates, but I'm not entirely sure whether we can share them.
I don't think they're done officially. Actually,
it's a good question. I'm not actually too sure. We typically do just share the overall counting ones, but like you say, Gary, they'll be the same because it includes the same units. But we can definitely look into it for you, 100%.
Split them out,
yeah.
Fabulous. Okay. Next question. Does your credit history or status affect your ability to be recognized as a chartered accounting or an accounting body? Got that one? Credit history and status. How does would that affect your ability to be recognized as in chartered accounting?
It doesn't affect you in that sense. It's only if you
county court judgments would be it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it has more of an effect if you wanted to take out a practice license and operate as an accountant. If you're being supervised by someone else, it shouldn't be a problem. But I would get directly in touch with AAT on that one with the details, so they can actually go through, just to make sure you're okay. I think it mainly applies to situations where there may have been some fraud involved. In other words, so you're dealing with money here. It's a case of, can you be trusted with money or not, to put it in basic terms. But yeah, any concerns on that, I would get directly in touch with AAT, and they'll have a compliance team that can look at that.
Yeah, we when you register with AAT, there'll be a declaration section where you can declare any CCJs, etc. But it's all dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and if there was any cause for concern, we would contact you and speak to you about it. So yeah, it's all case by case, that one.
Okay, And what looks like is the final question is, do the fees need to be paid up in full before you start? We've got, if we don't really mention this in the slides, but we do have finance available, so you can spread the cost of your course and in fact, therefore, the registration over 12 months.
Well, interest free up to 12 months. Anything over and above 12 months, that there's an interest fee charged on those. But generally speaking, because of the level of the fees, the majority of our students will be opting for something that's less than 12 months anyway. But yeah, we can certainly source all that out. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just if there are any specific questions like that, you can always just contact us via the website, and we'll be happy to deal with that each individual case. So I think that's probably every question that we've got. I think we've handled all those.
We must have answered most of the webinar.
I think we have. We've been exhaustive. So, okay. So thank you to everyone who's attended today. Once again, if you have any questions, please get in touch with us. We'll help you as much as we can. Thank you to today's guests on the webinar. Thank you, Michaela, and thank you very much, Jamie.
Yeah,
always a pleasure. Thank you both.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Thank you.
Okay, bye.